Wait, did Taraji and Ime allegedly link up? Because Nia finally addressed the whispers and her tone says a lot, reportedly. Quick subscribe for fast tea and receipts. Here's what's floating. Sightings, flirty vibes and comments, and a timeline that kinda overlaps, allegedly. We'll pull the posts, the interviews, and the context that fans say connect the dots. Plus why half the internet thinks it's harmless, industry-friendly, and the other half calls it messy. No rush to judgment. Forget about it. Just what's being claimed and what Nia actually said, in full context. Before we stir this pot, here's the backdrop you need. Nia and Ime were in it for the long haul, together for years. Engagement locked in back in 2015. And they share a beautiful son. So this wasn't some fling, this was family. They kept it mostly quiet, career first, love solid, red carpets here and there, then life did what life does. In 2022, boom, headlines everywhere. The Boston Celtics announced Ime was suspended for violations of team policies, and a story exploded. Details trickled out, lots of speculation, lots of noise, and Nia was left dealing with the public glare while trying to protect her child and her peace. It was messy and it was loud. Friends rallied, fans picked sides, and every whisper turned into a think piece. Now, fold in the Hollywood layer. There's long-running chatter that Nia and Taraji had tension during the Empire era, alleged friction. Reportedly, separate filming days to keep things smooth. Nothing officially confirmed, but the industry buzzed that they weren't vibing on set and kept it cordial from a distance. If true, that context matters because it colors how folks read their body language now. Maybe it was scheduling, maybe it was energy. Reportedly, it just wasn't seamless then, and people haven't forgotten. Okay, first little drizzle of tea, and it's the kind you sip slowly. Multiple blogs are reportedly stitching together a thread between Taraji and Ime, but there's no on-record confirmation from either camp. No hard quotes, just the internet doing its detective thing. The chatter says there were low-key dinners in Houston during the Rockets season, allegedly on quiet nights. Maybe after practice, maybe after a game, unverified and very much in the whispers-only category. Fans claim they spotted familiar silhouettes in dim corners, someone tall in team-adjacent fits, someone stylish with that unmistakable glow. But the pics doing laps are grainy, time-stamped weird, and could honestly be anyone if you squint. A couple of so-called insiders hint the timelines overlap, like press runs and home stands intersecting, yet no one will put their name on a single detail, and PR folks are staying politely silent. Which could mean everything or absolutely nothing. If true, it reads as grown, private dinner and dash vibes, no spectacle. But if not, it's just the algorithm cooking soup out of coincidence. Reminder, this is alleged until somebody says it plain, because we've all seen how a cute rumor can snowball into a whole narrative. For now, bookmark it as soft, speculative, and subject to change. Here's the thing, the difficult tag didn't pop up in a vacuum. Both women have reportedly worn it before, pinned on by headlines and unnamed insiders. Then, the moment a comparison article drops, boom, the label gets recycled like a stock photo. It's a media playbook. Take a firm boundary, call it a tantrum. Take a high standard, call it impossible. Switch the verb, flip the tone, and it reads spicy. Vague sources do the rest. Alleged on-set tension becomes a personality trait. An isolated clash becomes a brand. Readers remember the word, not the context, and it sticks. Analysts have noted how these labels skew gendered. Men get decisive, women get difficult. Same behavior, different packaging. It sells, because conflict clicks. Side-by-side cases need contrast, so the trope returns on cue. Even when the facts are thin, the archive is thick. Old snippets resurface. A quote from years ago gets new legs. Nuance goes missing. The audience gets déjà vu, and that déjà vu feels like proof. It isn't, allegedly. But repetition does the heavy lifting. PR teams know it. Tabloids know it. We end up debating vibes, not receipts. That's the pattern. A recycled adjective becomes the headline. The headline becomes the narrative. The narrative becomes the myth. And the myth outlives the moment. Here's a twist that has everyone side-eyeing the timeline. The chatter is hinting at some messy romance tea. But Taraji has been on a totally different wavelength lately, talking healing, boundaries, and putting herself first, so the vibes don't match at all. In recent sit-downs, she's emphasized therapy, rest, and protecting her peace, not soft-launching a situationship. So if there's a reveal, it's reportedly at odds with the message she's been pushing. That's why this feels contradictory. On one hand, rumor mill says sparks and secret dates allegedly. On the other, she's been crystal about choosing herself, moving with intention, and keeping private life private. Maybe the whispers are noise. Maybe there's a kernel of truth, but it's old, misread, or being hyped. Either way, timing looks off, and the branding is even more off, because her recent press tour energy has leaned wellness, purpose, and work-first focus. If anything, she's been framing love as something that must meet her standards, not a headline stunt. So unless she's pivoting, and there's zero on the record proof of that, the narrative reads like a mismatch. Could this be a classic case of out-of-context sightings turning into alleged intel? Wouldn't be the first. Until she says it herself, the contradiction stands. Public Taraji is about healing and self-priorities, while the rumored romance plot feels like someone else's storyline trying to stick. Here's where everything ignited. Kinda quiet, kinda loud. Nia didn't drop a statement. She dropped vibes, posting that soft focus mantra content about boundaries, protecting peace, and keeping her circle small. No names, no tags, just lines like protect your energy and I'm unavailable for chaos. And the timing had people raising brows. Fans allegedly connected the dots immediately, saying the captions felt like a sub, pointing out she posted right after the latest chatter. And comments filled up with "We hear you" and "Queen, choose peace," while others reportedly read it as a gentle clapback disguised as self-care. It's the new PR, right? The subtweet aesthetic, say everything while saying nothing. And it worked because the conversation flipped from "what did she do" to "how is she healing," which is a power move. A few watchers claim they caught her liking notes about boundaries and accountability, which could be coincidence, could be a wink. Who knows? But the subtext traveled. The message was, I won't name you, I won't fight you, I'll secure my peace, and that lands. Critics called it performative, supporters called it grown, and engagement spiked either way. So that quiet post became the flashpoint, drawing a gentle line in the sand, not messy, just firm, and everybody started reading between the lines like it was a seminar. So here's where it gets spicy. The fan camps are split and loud. Half are chanting girl code like it's the national anthem. The other half is shrugging because they're single adults, allegedly just living life. Timelines are being analyzed like exam papers. People are pulling receipts, reposts, and who sat next to who at events. Let's zoom out. The industry machine hums when there's chatter. Publicity buzz keeps names warm, boosts streams and clicks, and props up brand relevance. Reportedly, even a soft whisper can turn into a feature call or a campaign look. That's the game. If any dating is real, schedules get tricky fast. Co-parenting calendars, press days, custody weekends, holidays. One candid shot could spiral into a week of headlines. Publicists would triage, reps would coordinate narratives. Everyone would pray for controlled lighting and a cooperative algorithm. And yes, exes and kids become part of the discourse, whether they asked for it or not. Which is messy. If the rumors fade, the arc resets. Nia's healing journey goes front and center again. Therapy, peace, and booked-in busy energy. Taraji's career wins take the spotlight. New roles, box office chatter, producing moves, awards talk if the work lands. The internet will pretend this never happened until the next nudge. Either way, motive talk is simple. Attention is currency. Intentions may be personal, but the ripple effect is professional, allegedly. And everyone in Hollywood knows how to surf it. And that's the tea for now. Alleged link or just a loud rumor, it's reportedly swirling, nothing locked. I'm not saying it's fact, I'm saying it's being whispered. Sources conflict. Timelines wobble, motives are guessed, receipts are thin. But the pattern people claim to see? Interesting, allegedly. Drop your take below respectfully. What connects, what doesn't, what feels like a reach. Keep it kind. If a real statement lands, or someone confirms or denies on record, we'll circle back fast. Until then, ears open, radar on, and a pinch of salt handy. Don't get played by Vieto. Stay curious, not furious.